Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all the ships at sea. Welcome to today's Wednesday, September 29, 2021, Walpole Media Corporation broadcast of Walpole High School varsity field hockey as the Milton High Wildcats take on your Walpole High Porkers from Turco Field on the Walpole High campus in the Bay State Conference Herget Division game. My name is Rick Brown, your voice of Walpole High Sports. I'll be providing all the play-by-play action today. I don't want to put a jinx on the Porkers and junior goalkeeper Madison Clark, but with one-third of the season done, Walpole has yet to allow a goal. The orange and blue has outscored their opponents 28-0. In fact, 4-0 Watertown is the only other team in Eastern Mass that has played more than one game and is still unscored upon. Senior tri-captain Carolyn Whalen leads the Porkers in scoring with 7 goals and as many assists for 14 points. Elise Scales, another 12th grader, leads a group of 4 players with 5 points each. Scales has 5 goals. Freshman Caitlin Naughton has 3 goals and 2 assists. Lauren Wong, a senior, has a pair of goals and 3 helpers. And Jess Tassoni, another 12th grader, has a goal and 4 assists. Walpole is decision Natick 5-0, Needham 2-0, Braintree 4-0, Weymouth 8-0, Norwood 3-0, and Framingham 6-0. The Porkers, who are 3-0 at home and in first in the Herget Division, caged the Wildcats twice last fall, 4-0 and 5-2. The Orange and Blue was the preseason number 1 pick of the Boston Globe Top 20, a position they have yet to yield, as well as the top seed in all New England Division I schools by Max Preps. Following today, the Porkers have a big game Saturday at Cohasset, 13th in the Boston Globe Top 20, and a couple of more looming back-to-back contests against Central Catholic and at Franklin, the 9th in the Boston Globe poll. Milton comes in at 1-2, 0-2 on the road. The Wildcats are 4th in the Herget and have outscored their opponents 10-5. The Red and White opened the year with a 9-0 rout of Weymouth before falling to Needham 1-0 and Braintree 4-1. Walpole's captains for fifth-year coach Jen Quinn are Natalie Griffin, Jess Tassoni, and Carolyn Whalen. Carolyn stood atop the scoring as a year ago with 11 goals and a half dozen assists for 17 points. As a sophomore, Whalen was runner-up in scoring with 40 points. Of course, as we've spoken earlier, Natalie Griffin is out this year after suffering a knee injury in playing spring lacrosse, and she will miss all of this year, which is tough because Natalie was, I think, the 3rd leading scorer last fall. Both teams ready. All right, Walpole going out on the field. They will be defending the goal to your left, and they will be going down left to right on your TV screen. Nope, now the 2 teams switch, so looks like Walpole will be defending the goal on the right at the scoreboard end of the field and going right to left on your TV screen. Lucy Liberitis is the goalie for Milton, who has 4 captains: Anna Rowley, Nora Walsh, Sophia Rowley, and Casey Peterson, I guess it is. A little delay here because Milton was short a player. Try Captain Walsh. And it looks like we are underway. Walpole starts off, sending it up ahead to Whalen. Whalen's pass is intercepted. It comes back. Walpole takes it. Sends it over on the left sideline to Karen Birch. She backhands it down the sideline. And with it is Elise Scales. Elise trying to cut it in. She gets it over to Lindsay Jacobs. And Milton comes away with it. Scuffed there. Stolen by Birch. Karen looking, throws it in front. It's picked off by Milton, knocked down by Scales. Elise is able to come up with it. I'm sorry, no, that's actually just to Sony. All right, we have our first penalty stroke of the game. Walpole will get it. Comes up top. Whalen has it, sends it in, just cleared wide behind the net. Okay, a steal there by Scales. Elise has it. Misfires on a shot. Looking for somebody in front. Walpole will get the ball out at the 25. It will be Jacobs starting things off. She drops it back to Birch. Actually, that's not Karen. It is Brianna Frucci. I'm sorry, Brianna. That's in front, shot just wide. Cleared by Milton. Okay. Sends it up. Stolen by Birch. She loses it. Steal by Frucci. Brianna bringing it down. Down the sidelines to Scales. Scales tosses it in over to the side. Coming in front, a shot. Should score. It was, looked to me like Karen Birch with the goal for Walpole. The time of the goal is 2 minutes, 48 seconds. And Karen gets the goal for Walpole. It's what the team likes to do, is jump out early to grab an early lead. Milton starts it down. Going down the side. Okay, steal by Scales. Elise loses it there for a second. And Justisoni comes up with it for Walpole. Sends it ahead to Scales. Elise throws it in front. She has Carolyn Whalen there. And Carolyn Whalen got the assist on that goal. So it is Birch from Whalen. Milton clearing it down the field. Walpole intercepts. It's taken there by Megan Riley. Tassoni with it. Looking towards the middle. Throws it there. She's got Scales. Scales has it stolen. Walpole gets it back. It was not Caitlin Naughton temporarily with the ball. Sent up the sidelines and out. It'll be Walpole ball on the far side. And it gets dropped back. sent ahead to Frucci. Frucci to Birch. Birch to white ball on the sideline. Karen Birch sending it down the sideline. Back up to Nora Patel. Nope, sorry about that. It's Brianna Frucci. Brianna gets it, throws it over to Sony. Sony picks it up. Trying to get into the circle. She does. Shot, kick, save by Liberidis. Battling on the side. Comes up, picked up by Holly Pasquantonio for Milton. Battling on that far side. Walpole is able to come up with it temporarily, but the Wildcats get it. Walpole coming in, trying the backhand to clear it out. Walpole sent down on the side here, cleared ahead. Coming in front. It's picked up on the far side by Walpole, sent down along the side. Backhanded nicely. Nice pass there. In front to Whalen. Whalen give and go with Birch. Milton trying to clear it. Frucci with it. Brianna sends it into the circle. Shot by Scales is blocked. Elise gets her rebound. And it goes out of bounds. It'll be Milton ball. No, it will not. It'll be another penalty stroke. Comes out. Wayland over on the side. To Wayland. Shot. Save. Another shot. Another save. And it comes out of bounds. All right, Walpole will get it at the 25. Starting it off over to Frucci. Brianna looking for Birch and was unable to connect with her. Down the side. White ball. It will be Brianna. Sending it straight over to the 20. Walpole is able to keep it in. Scales is able to keep it in. Comes back. It'll be Walpole to Sony with the ball. And we'll still have the ball. Okay, she drops it back to Frucci. Brianna sends it across in front. Sent down through the middle. Goalie comes way out and kicks it aside. That will be Milton ball. 5:57 and counting left in the first quarter. Walpole on top 1-0 on a Karen Birch goal from Carolyn Whalen. Okay, Scales comes out and Katie Poirier goes in for Walpole. A little scuff there. Milton coming down. It's Pasquantonio again. But Walpole looks like they're going to control it. It's Lindsay Jacobs battling, sending it around. Up the side, Anna Rowley keeps it in for Milton. The Wildcats go in. Walpole comes out of the scrum with it. Nice backhand. Can Katie catch up to it? She does. She's able to keep it in. Poirier gets it ahead to Jacobs. I'm sorry, that was Whalen. On the far side, a shot save in front, still in the circle. Another shot, another clear. Whalen with it, looking for Poirier. They just couldn't connect. And Milton clears it up to the 35, where it's picked up there by Frucci. Frucci over to Naughton. Naughton in front. Comes in, a shot blocked. Save in front. Walpole putting a lot of pressure on the Milton goal. Walpole with it. Frucci. She throws it in front. She's got Tassoni. Jess's coming in with it. Throws it in front, blocked by Milton's defense. Shot just wide of the net by Whalen. And Milton will bring it out with 3:36 left to go in the first quarter. Walpole on top, 1-0. Okay, Nora Walsh out for Milton. Rory Martin in. Poirier chasing it down. She's able to stop it. It's blocked temporarily. Milton gets it back. All right, Karen sends it up to Brianna. Long cross there to Caitlin Naughton. Whoa, Milton scrambling there. It'll be Walpole ball on the 25. And I'll bring it to the 20. Sends over to Birch. Karen looking. She's got a teammate. And it will be a third penalty stroke for Walpole. Sending it in. Comes up to Whalen. High shot just over the top of the net. And actually it stays on top of the net there by Walpole. Poirier with it. Has it taken away. Walpole controls it. Tassoni throws it in front. And we have another penalty stroke for Walpole. 4-0 on strokes for the Porkers. Poirier, I think, is going to start this out. He sends again to Whalen, to Tassoni, back to Whalen. Carolyn's in the circle. Battling, she had, I think it was Naughton there, and the whistle blows, so we're under a minute to play in the first quarter. Stolen nicely by Birch. Karen trying to move in. She's inside. A shot. Oh, nice save by Liberitis. And Milton is able to clear. Sent up ahead. Walpole steals. That was Jacobs with the steal to Poirier. It'll be Needham Milton ball with 25 seconds left in the first quarter. Taken nicely by Walpole. Poirier keeps it alive. In the corner, it's knocked out by Milton. The final 5 seconds here. I don't think we'll be able to get anything off before the horn sounds. There's the horn. And that will end the first quarter of play here from Turco Field with the Porkers on top 1-0. A goal at the 2:48 mark by Karen Birch with Carolyn Whalen assisting. Put Walpole on top 1-0. Teams will take a little break here as they get some water. It's a beautiful day here. Probably nice and big white fluffy clouds up there. Nice blue sky. Game time temperature now 63, but it's very comfortable here. Both teams, like I said, Walpole looking for their 7th win of the season. Milton, all I could find for them so far is 3 games. Like we said, 1 win, 2 losses. But they do have the firepower to score, as they proved by putting 9 into the net against Weymouth. If you've ever had the desire to do play-by-play or color on any of the high school sports on Walpole Media Corp, we are more than happy to have you give it a try. You don't have to be a professional. Obviously, they've let me do it for a long time. If you are interested, call Executive Director Tamara Green at 508-668-7795 or email her at tgreen@walpolemedia.tv. We're always looking for people to help out on the broadcasts. And it's a fun thing to do. You get to see the kids up close and personal. It helps, obviously, if you know a little bit about the sport. And you don't mind, making errors once in a while, because I certainly make plenty of them up here. But it's a fun thing to do, and the kids really enjoy it. So we are getting ready for a second quarter action here. Walpole, again, will be going from right to left on your screen. Defending the goal on the right is Junior Madison Clark, who we said earlier has been having just a sensational year. Part of the thing is her defense has been incredible. They collapse in and don't allow the opponent to get much in the way of shots. And Madison comes up with some key saves during the games. All right, Milton starting up at about the 22. Walpole comes up with it. Coming down on the right, Walpole had a huge advantage in offensive zone time in the first quarter. I don't think Milton spent much more than a minute in the Walpole end. Steal here by Taylor Carter. It's Milton's ball. Okay, I'm just noticing that Lucy Liberatis is not the goalie for Milton. I think it's Madison Ford. Um, Lucy's playing out for this game, wearing number 47. Here comes Walpole on the charge. Sent in front, kicked out by high shot just over the crossbar. Okay, the ball comes up to Casey Peterson, one of Milton's captains. They have 4 of them. Well, both Cavs, like we said, playing just to Sony and Carolyn Whalen. Natalie's helping out with the book today, providing a lot of help, guiding the team along, getting them to, continue the excellence that the Porkers have shown for decades now. All right, Walpole on the far side. And the Porkers will start it in over to Tassoni. Just gets it. She was looking for Whalen, couldn't find her. Comes up to Pasquantonio for Milton. Milton still gets it. Coming down. Down the sidelines over to Birch. Birch sends it ahead. Wayland's shot is kicked wide by Ford. Porkers are on the move. Cleared up and drop back in. A shot by Lauren Wong is stopped. Jacobs gets upended in the circle, and Walpole will have their 5th penalty stroke of the game. Up top, Whalen sends it through. Walpole trying to get there. Porkers get it. Still alive, and the ball is cleared outside the circle. Chasing it down is Tassoni, just looking for somebody to pass to. And we have another penalty stroke called here. Comes up to Whalen, bounces over her stick, kept in though nicely. On the ground, shoot, save, shot, and a score. And I think it was Lindsay Jacobs who might have tipped that in. We will catch it in a minute. But the time of that goal is 4 minutes and 9 seconds. Walpole goes up 2-0. Kate Devlin comes into the game for Walpole. Lauren Wong with the ball. And it gets dropped back to Jacobs. Walpole ball sent down the far sideline. Walpole coming back with it. Comes over to Karen Birch. Karen sends it ahead to Wong. Wong backhands it in front. There with a shot is Whalen, who gets a rebound, stopped again. Flurry in front. And it will be Milton's ball. Walpole loses the ball. Milton with it. On the side of the net, the shot turned aside by Birch. .708 and counting in this game. Walpole will start it back at the 25. It was Jacobs sending it back to Ria Vader. Milton ball. In front, battling for it. Milton comes up with it. Coming through with it was Frucci. Back to Jacobs in front. Scribble and a goal. It looked like Lauren Wong from here that will get the goal that puts Walpole up 3-0. Time of that goal is 7-6-14. So Walpole building up the lead here to 3-0. Emma Caulfield going in for Walpole, replacing Caitlin Naughton. Play centering around the midfield area. It's sent ahead. As Bridget Welch and Bridget Miskell both hit the dirt on the far side of the field. So I was correct. Lindsay Jacobs did score the first goal. Lauren Wong did score the second goal, the third goal. And Carolyn Whalen has picked up a trio of assists so far in the game. Walpole substituting freely here to get some of the younger players some playing time. Walpole get it on the far side. It'll be Lauren Wong. Bringing it in back to Wong, gets it up to Jacobs. Jacobs still getting it. Nice job by Lindsay protecting that ball. And she sends it ahead to Birch. Birch over to Wong. Wong coming in. Looking on the side, just missed connecting with, I think it was Caulfield. Milton bringing it down and losing it out of bounds. Nora Patel will start it in for Walpole. She gets it over to Birch. Birch ahead to Wong. Wong looking in front for someone. Wong gets it back again. Nice hustle. Oh, thrown in front. There's Whalen kicked out. No, that wasn't Whalen. I'm sorry. That was Caulfield. Walpole keeps it in the circle. Thrown in front, cleared out by the Wildcats. They start down on the far side of the field. Walpole intercepts. It will be Molly Kippenberger and Maddie Foland coming in for Walpole, as Wong and Birch get a chance to get some breathing time. Goes down the sideline and out. It will be Walpole ball. Stand corrected. It's Milton ball. We're under 2 minutes to play in the first half. Walpole on top, 3-0. Rhea Vada comes in for Walpole. She replaces Carolyn Whalen. Shot through in front, kicked wide. Vada was right there on the doorstep looking for that. All right, Milton blocked by Walpole. They get it back again down the far side. Cleared ahead, stolen by Walpole. Nice play defensively. I think that's Bridget Welch over there on D. Sent ahead to Kippenberger. Molly looking for Vada. Kippenberger is able to get the ball temporarily. Milton comes up with it. It's Kerry Balerna for the Wildcats. Milton continues. Blocked in front. Stolen, cleared away by Walpole's defense. Comes up and goes out. And that should end the first half. As the horn sounds, bringing to a conclusion the first half of this game. Walpole on top, 3-0. Karen Birch opened the scoring, 2:48 into the game, with Carolyn Whalen picking up the first of her 3 assists. At 4:09 of the second quarter, Lindsay Jacobs doubled that advantage to 2-0. And Lauren Wong made it 3-0 at the 6:14 mark. That's where we stand now. 2 teams are going to take a little break. We'll do the same. We'll be back shortly with second half action. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Turco Field, as your Walpole High Porkers hold a 3-0 advantage over the Wildcats of Milton in this Bay State Conference Herget Division battle. Walpole comes in at 6-0. Milton at 1-2. The scoring so far: Karen Birch, Lindsay Jacobs, and Lauren Wong for Walpole. Tri-captain Carolyn Whalen has 3 assists. All right. Walpole today, on this second half will be going left to right on your screen, defending the goal in the sun. Normally, like Walpole likes to be shooting at this goal in the second half, so this is a little interesting change, as Milton must have opted to change things around. It's stolen by Katie Poirier on the far side. She's battling down the sidelines, looking to send it ahead. She has Scales, Elise looking in front. It's stolen by Milton and taken back for Walpole, but Milton will get the ball. Goes out of bounds, deflected off of a Walpole stick. Okay, Milton will start it at their 39. Stolen by Walpole, bringing it back down. Milton gets it, clears it, but not out. It's Walpole ball. On the far side. Sent back up. Wildcats bringing it down on the far side. It was Ella Narette with the ball there. She loses it out of bounds. Sent down. Walpole with the ball. Thrown in front to Tassoni. Her shot is blocked. Walpole gets it back. It'll be Milton ball, though. Anna Rowley with it. She leaves it for Ella Narette. Battling for it. Stolen by Scales. Walpole bringing it down. Fan. Walpole gets it. Quick send ahead. Elise being guarded closely. On the far side, looks like Walpole in to get it back. They do. That's Frucci. Draw back up ahead to Birch. Karen sends it down the sideline, gets it knocked out of bounds by, nope, Milton is able to keep it in bounds. It's Gabrielle Slate over there for the Wildcats. Walpole coming back here. Sent down, intercepted momentarily by Walpole, but Milton is able to bring it down. Holly Pasquantonio with it. Walpole stealing it. Sent along the sideline, cleared up along the sideline nicely. Walpole on the charge here. Over on the side, thrown in front. kicked away. It's loose. Oh, Walpole not able to convert there. Milton sends it down. It's blocked. Knocked out of bounds off of Walpole's stick. Milton will start down again. Cleared ahead. Pasco Antonio for Milton. It's cleared up for Walpole. Vader coming down. Throws it ahead. It's just picked off. Walpole picks it off back. Coming back. So, and off of Milton ball. Bridget Welch starts it back for Walpole. Sends it down. Picked up nicely by Lindsay Tashjian. Battling is Rhea Vadher. Tashjian goes back to Poirier. Poirier sends it ahead. She has Tashjian. Walpole steals. It's Vadher. No, it was Birch. I'm sorry. No, it was Bridget Welch. Sorry about that. All right, coming down. It's Madison Hunt for Milton. Still Milton ball. Hunt with it. Sends it through. It's taken. Milton, nice kick save by Maddie Clark. Walpole will get it to start out. Walpole bringing the ball down. It's cleared by Milton over to Anna Rowley. Rowley has it taken away. It will be Milton ball, though. Nope, it's Walpole. They drop it back. And sent up to the far sideline. Hunt there defending for Milton. Cleared down. Walpole gets it. Sends it ahead. Down on the far side. Nice move dropping it back. Walpole gets possession. Comes over to Bridget Mescal. Mescal bringing it down. All right, Hunt bringing it down. Sends it through. Walpole will get the ball. Thrown ahead. Hunt steals. Coming in for the Wildcats. Shot blocked. And Milton will get their first penalty stroke of the game. Setting it up for them will be Lucy Liberitis. Throws it in front. Hunt with it, a shot. Blocked. And a score! Time of the goal, 5:51. So that will be, let's see, at 6:09. So 318, 318 minutes and 9 seconds of shutout stopped by Milton. Walpole finally gets scored upon. Thrown in front. Backhand kicked out. It'll be Milton ball. So Walpole's and Madison Clark's shutout streak ends at 318 minutes and 9 seconds to start the season. Huge advantage for Walpole. Shot through. And again, kicked out. Battling away there. Down the sideline, stolen by Bridget Welch. She keeps it in, throws it in front. She was looking for Rhea. Katie Poria there. She will start this off from the 25. She sends it ahead just too far, and it'll be Milton ball. Walpole battling in front here. Blocked by Tashjan. She sends it across to Caulfield. Caulfield coming in. Kick wide and out by Madison Ford in the Milton goal. Tashjan battling for it. Can't get it. It'll be Milton ball. Ford to Caulfield. Caulfield can't do anything with it. Casey Peterson sends it down the sideline for Milton. Nice control there by Jacobs for the Porkers, but it goes just out of bounds. Milton will start. Sends it in. It's blocked by Caulfield. It goes out. Walpole ball. It'll come all the way back. And the front sent just cleared wide by Ford, as she dove over and was just able to reach enough to clear it away. Walpole will start at the 25. Walpole with the ball. Kicked out by Ford. Walpole still with possession. Battling through. It's Milton ball. 105 and counting left in this third quarter. Nesta Ryan Mallon sends it over for Milton. Walpole bringing the ball back. Shot goes wide. Milton controlling over there is Vader. Vader gets it back up to Poirier. Back to Tashchin. And that horn signifies the end of the third quarter with Walpole on top. 3-1. Walpole gets scored upon for the first time this season as Madison Clark's unscored upon streak and the Porkers' scored upon streak ends at 318 minutes and 9 seconds of play so far for the 2021 season. Walpole's 3 goals, Karen Birch started the scoring in the first quarter. Lindsay Jacobs and Lauren Wong added goals in the second stanza, and Carolyn Whalen has assisted in all 3 goals for the Porkers. We have 12 minutes left to play in this game. Walpole on top. We'd like to thank Walpole High Junior Tim Donahue for outstanding job filming today. Beautiful day at Turco Field. Great fall weather. Once again, if you would be interested in broadcasting any of these games, any sport, basically that we can get into, we will do. Everything is, COVID restricted these days. We're unable to do volleyball or swimming because of the locations where they are. But outdoor games, we'd be more than happy to have you try out for them. Like I said earlier, if you are interested, contact Executive Director Tamara Green at 508-668-7795 or email her at tgreen@walpolemedia.tv. We'd be more than happy to give you a shot at coming up and calling the game. And it looks like we have a change in the Walpole net. It looks like Abby Johnson has just gone into the net for Walpole. All right. Porker's on the way, coming down the field. Walpole gets it back on the far side and drops it back. Jacobs with the ball. Sends it across. Comes back up. Naughton sends it over. Still battling. It's Walpole ball. Tassoni with it. Milton comes up with it. Stolen temporarily, blocked temporarily by Naughton. Caitlin is the only freshman on the team this year for Walpole. Walpole will start at the 35, sending it down. Coming up with it is Milton temporarily. Stolen by Naughton. Back to Katie Collarad. She sends it up in front. And we will have another penalty stroke by the Porkers. Comes up top. Whalen over to Sony. To Sony looking for somebody in front. Ball still loose. Walpole maintains possession, but not for long. It's taken by Milton. I just realized my math was off on the shutout streak for Walpole. It was actually 396 minutes and 46 seconds. Quite a feat. Almost 6 and 3/4 hours there. Shutout. Walpole controlling on the side. And bringing it out is Poirier. Sends it along. Good throw down the, good shot down the sideline. Bringing it in for Walpole. Coming into the circle and having it stolen. Nice poke check there by Megan Riley, I think it was. Blocked in front, keeping it out of the zone. Cleared. And it will go out. And this will be another penalty stroke for the Wildcats. Their second of the game. Walpole has 7. Abby Johnson ready to start. Comes out, thrown in front, blocked. Milton controls in the circle, and Walpole clears it out. And it will go out of bounds. The Wildcats will start on the far side. Knocked down nicely by Lauren Wong, I think it was. Walpole sends it up. Controlled by the Porkers. Walpole ball. Still bringing it down. Sent up ahead to Jacobs. Lindsay looking for Wong. Has her in the corner. Lauren throws it in front. It's blocked temporarily. Loose on the ground. Walpole scores. That was, I think it was Caitlin Naughton for Walpole there. Time of the goal was 4 minutes and 53 seconds. Walpole on top, 4-1 now. Gets back to that 3-goal advantage. kick save. Another kick save. Ball on the ground. Kicked out again by Ford. Block. Walpole with more pressure here. And it's cleared out. Walpole's still trying to get it back inside the circle. They do. Rebound, shot, score. And Walpole strikes twice here. Let's see, 6. In less than 2 minutes, Walpole gets a pair of goals. Upping their lead to 5-1. Taylor Carter comes out and is replaced by Rhea Vadher. Walpole bringing the ball down. Oh, a lot of the younger players getting a lot more playing time here today. Walpole controlling over in the corner. We're under 6.5 minutes to play here. Bridget Welch back in for Walpole as Katie Colleran comes out. Milton sends it down. Kippenberger back in for Walpole as Tassoni comes out. Sending it down was Caulfield. She found Naughton. Bringing it down on the near side here is Welch. She will start it back in with 4:44 and counting. Left in regulation here. Bridget again will start it at the 35. She sends it through. Milton is able to contain it, but comes right back out to Caulfield. Milton gets it back. Stolen back by Bridget Welch nicely. Up ahead. That was Kate Devlin sending the ball through. Vadher with it. Coming back out and around. On the side, Walpole coming in. Poirier comes back out. Milton on the way down, blocked nicely by Caulfield. Stop the flow. Pasquantonio gets it back. She's looking. She has Mescal in front of her. Walpole's unable to steal the ball, though. Now it's Nora Walsh on the far side for the Wildcats. And a flip in. Walpole is able to contain. Sends it down the sideline and out. Milton will control. Two minutes, 11 seconds to go in regulation. Walpole controlling. That will be Milton. Milton will get the penalty stroke here. Minute and 20 to go in regulation here. Walpole on top, 5-1. Hunt, her shot is blocked by Poirier. Milton trying to get through here for one more score before regulation ends. Scales with the ball, dumps it back up. Twirls, nice move. Porker's coming down the field. Kate Devlin battling for it. She will start it up. She gets it over to Maddie Folan. Walpole battling for it. Milton comes up with it. We're down to the final 2 seconds. The horn sounds, and that's the way things will end. Walpole claims their 7th victory of the season. 5-1. Caitlin Naughton ends up with those last 2 goals. Lindsay Jacobs with 1 assist, and Carolyn Whalen with her 4th assist of the game. So the final score here is 5-1. Walpole is a win for the 7th time. They did see their unscored upon streak snapped at 396 minutes and 46 seconds. We'll give you one final rundown on the scoring. Karen Birch scored at 2:48 of the game. That was the only scoring of the first quarter. Lindsay Jacobs made it 2-0 at 4:09 of the second. Lauren Wong made it 3-0 at 6:14. Milton scored their only goal in the third quarter Walpole finished it off with freshman Caitlin Naughton scoring twice at 4:53 and 6:48 of the final stanza. Whalen picked up her fourth assist, and Lindsay Jacobs had an assist. And that's the way things will end here from Turco Field. Once again, we'd like to thank you for watching this Walpole Media Corporation broadcast of Walpole High varsity field hockey action. Once again, the final score, your Walpole Porkers 5 and Milton 1.